Well, I'm pulling these up, Matt. I know that we love to put you in the hot seat because it's one of your favorite positions to be in. We're just throwing that out there, even though it makes you sweat here just a little bit. And I kind of want to piggyback off of what we've been talking about here recently as it pertains to this Sooners softball team. I was holding off on some of my comments about Nicole May because I knew what my true or false questions were, and I didn't want to
Okay, my
spoil
bad.
one
My
of
bad.
those.
I feel
And
like I
so,
always do
no,
that to
you're
you.
you're absolutely fine. You are absolutely fine because we didn't even get into what I was going to ask
Okay.
of you. When I look at this Oklahoma softball team, I have to ask this first though. There's a lot of debate going on right now as to who would be the number one overall seed. Would that be UCLA? Would that be Oklahoma? Is there another team like in Alabama who
Mhm.
can squeak in there given the strength of schedule that people like to say the SEC has versus some of these other conferences? Any one of those, in my opinion, could easily get the number one seed depending on who you're asking. So when we ask a group, a conglomerate of people, the answers to that question is murky. It's muddied up right now, and
Mhm.
there's not a clear, concise number one, given the fact that Oklahoma does now have 2 losses. So when I look at this tournament, when I look at the Big 12 championship, and I look at Oklahoma potentially claiming that, regardless of who they have to beat to get there, let's say Oklahoma does win, and this is a hypothetical for you. Oklahoma does win the Big 12 tournament. True or false, they would be the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament.
Oh man, that's a good question, Rich. I'm gonna say that's true, and the reason why is because I think clearly if they win this championship, then they are going to have gone undefeated over the weekend. And so you add 3 more wins. They've been number one for so long, and it's not even been close. UCLA had its chances when they lost at Georgia. UCLA also lost the opener to their series. They lost. They lost the opener to Bedlam. UCLA lost. Now we're going into the championship tournament. I do believe a team like UCLA, I'm going to say this and maybe make some fans upset, but if a team like UCLA or even an Alabama can go into their conference tournaments and run the table, that speaks more, that holds more weight than Oklahoma running through the table in the Big 12. The Big 12, you've got basically 3 teams. You've got Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Texas. Those are the top 3 teams, and then it gets kind of murky after that. When you're looking at the Pac-12, they're deeper than 3. You look at the SEC, they're deeper than 3. And I know people here's what I'm saying true. Okay. I'm sorry I'm ranting on you a little bit, but people make the argument about like in Alabama. Hey, look what they're doing in the SEC, and the SEC is deeper than the Big 12. And why I can't 100% refute that argument, what I can say is any argument about the SEC that includes the strength of the SEC must also include Oklahoma's record against the SEC this season. And Oklahoma, it's not like they have been ducking the SEC. They've beaten Missouri, they've beaten Mississippi State, they split with Georgia. So this is a team that's gone toe to toe with the SEC and has a superior record against the SEC. And so if you're making that statement that Alabama deserves more credit because of the strength of the SEC, then really what you're doing is you're boosting Oklahoma's strength of schedule as well because they've gone against the SEC. And it's not like they haven't played top 25 programs this season. They played Texas, a top 10 program. They played Oklahoma State, a top 10 program. They played Missouri, a top 25 program. They played Wichita State, a top 25 program. They played Arizona State, going out to the Pac-12, top 25 program. So I do believe this is all semantics. I believe it's all conversation because people like me get geeked up and tune into this. But when you look at 2 losses over the course of this season, that's incredible. And I do believe Oklahoma earns the top overall seed because of that, should they